Hello everybody and welcome back to the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations walkthrough. It is time to begin Episode 3, Recipe for Turnabout, and well, we're already in court. How very exciting. Well, this is very intriguing because, yeah, we're all fine. It's the start of a new year, everything's good, but what the hell was that? Because if everything's going so well, what? How can Nick lose a case? It's like, it's unheard of. Apart from, you know, the end of case 4 of Justice for All. We kind of, sort of, lost that one. I mean, we won it, but we lost it, if that makes any sense. And I don't know what Gumshoe's got his knickers in a twist for, because, like, everything's fine on Nick's end, apart from, you know, that mysterious thing that opened the episode. And Maya, just stop changing the subject. Like, I'm quite happy to be a master of tangents. Love a good tangent, but it looks like something quite serious is happening, and, okay, there's a magazine article, why do I have the feeling that things are not quite right here? I mean, I suppose you could call our, cases amateur in some forms, because, you know, we kind of lurched from one semi-disaster to the next semi-disaster, but you see, we always actually come up on top, we'll come out on top. But yeah, we never were actually involved in a case last December, largely because last December I wasn't playing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice, but, well, Justice for All or Trials and Tribulations, so kinda couldn't be involved in that, you know, but yes, there is a phony Nick out there who has taken our place, and that's really not good if you ask me. And actually this is something that's quite funny and fascinating, because obviously pretending to be an attorney at law is a serious criminal offence. Especially also identity theft, that's quite serious. Because obviously that could lead to fraud and all sorts of other things. I mean, also if you've stolen someone's identity, there's also, you know, the chance of, if you committed a murder and then you wanted to pin it on them, that is an option. So, there's a lot of dangerous stuff that could be done with a phony Nick. So, yeah, it makes sense that we've got to be the ones to fix things. So, we're going to talk to Maya for a little bit, just to, you know, get a few ideas of what to do, and then we're going to head down to the detention centre to find out who our defendant is, because to be fair, we probably need to speak to them and say, yeah, this weren't us. Like, really sorry that you've been found guilty of it, but we will try and sort it, don't worry. It's a little bit of a challenge right now. So, right, let's head there right now. And, who is the poor soul who, has been done for murder? Because, you know, it's never good, and... Oh! Look who it is! If you played Justice for All, you should recognise this as Maggie Bird, who featured in the, I believe, opening case of Justice for All, The Lost Turnabout. And the poor girl, she went through a lot in that case, and it's just really unfortunate for her because she doesn't deserve half the stuff that goes on to her. In terms of trivia for Maggie, her Japanese name is Meiko Suzuki, and her French name is Maggie Loiseau. Because I finally found where the alternate names are on the Ace Attorney wiki, thank God. So her Japanese name comes from the phrase Make Suzuki, which means continues to lose, which obviously refers to her bad luck, considering she's been, you know, trialed for murder twice. Very unlucky. The reading Suzuki is a somewhat uncommon kanji writing of Suzuki, which is the cause of the original case that she was found in of I believe the real murderer, writing it as the more common version and mistaking it. Her English name comes from the magpie, so Maggie, and obviously a bird, which is where you get the bird from. And obviously magpie, said to bring bad luck, although I have to say that is only if you see one of them by themselves. And the reason that the spelling was chosen is because it's confusing, because it's the more common way of spelling Maggie is I-E rather than E-Y, because Maggie is a diminutive of Margaret, which means pearl or daughter of light. And then her French surname, Loiseau, is most likely derived from le oiseau, which would probably just be pronounced Loiseau, because oiseau means bird. Which, at least in her original appearance, would refer to the feathers that she has on her outfit. I don't think she actually has any feathers in this maid's outfit, really, but it's certainly part of everything that she deals with. And I think they were part of her police uniform and her security guard outfit. And the fact that they're red feathers are apparently actually meant to express her altruistic personality, in that they are indicative of her regular contributions to charity, since the community chest of Japan is known as the Red Feather Community Chest. Plus, obviously, the whole bird theme going on. What's quite fun is that she also turned up in Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth, and yes, although her standard sprites in that game are very similar to all the other characters, in that her left and right facing sprites are just flipped versions of each other, her full body sprites are different regardless of whether she's facing left or right, but her hat will always remain in her left hand. And that's quite fun. But yeah, poor Maggie. She really got screwed over in this one. Because there were 2 people, and she is adamant that there were 2 people at the table when the murder took place. And considering, you know, she didn't do it last time, I highly doubt she would have gone in and killed someone this time round, so kind of we do have to try and prove her innocence, otherwise we would be a really, really rubbish defence attorney. And I'm not really getting much out of Maggie, are we? But hopefully she'll give us a little bit more if we ask her about, you know, the trial and what happened, because obviously weren't us. And I like how Maya's just turning everyone's names back to front to create their evil alter ego. So, Maya's evil twin is I Am, and Nyx is, Zin Eop. It's not particularly helpful. I've always been quite fond of my name when you flip it back to front, because it's, basically Drakir, which sort of sounds like dragon, like related to dragons and stuff. You've got like Drake and Draco and that sort of stuff. So I've always been quite fond of my name flipped. So to be fair, I'd quite like to meet my evil twin because he would just have a really awesome name. Obviously I'd have to kill him because he's, you know, my evil twin, but that's another story. We're currently dealing with poor Maggie and falling from the 9th floor apartment and going from one disaster to the next in her life. She's just really, really unlucky, bless her. Like I have to say, if I don't exactly feel like the luckiest person in the world, but I've had a bit of crap throughout my life, but I am nowhere near that unlucky. I don't think many people are, because if you got accused of murder twice, potentially thrice, and you were innocent every single time, and you got hit by every moving vehicle under the sun, and you got thrown out of a building when you were 6 months old. Not necessarily thrown out of a building, but you fell out of a building. Yeah, that's just majorly unlucky. And, wow, this place is crazy and very, very, very pink. Yes, this is a place called Tribulations. It is a restaurant, which is very interesting. I love the music plays in Tribulations. It's quite fun. It's nice and bouncy. I really do like the term bouncy right at the moment. It's just quite fun, to be fair. And, there's something behind the magazine rack. Now what's quite fun is that, obviously because the name of the restaurant is in French, in the French version of the game, the restaurant is Italian. So it's called Bellissima, which is Italian for very beautiful, whereas obviously Très bien just means very good. But obviously, yeah, it's, But what's quite funny is that, the très used is actually wrong. Because, it's... Oh, you see, this is where I'm going to get into major literature things, because the little accent that goes above a letter, you've got E acute in this. So an acute accent is one that goes up, and a grave accent goes down. In tre, the actual tre is a grave accent, and the one used in the game is an acute accent. So basically, whoever owns the restaurant has no idea what they're doing and really can't speak proper French. And actually, to be fair, if you're going with tray like that, you're sort of erring closer to the number 3 in Spanish. But yes. Oh god. That's interesting. So, this is the owner of Très Bien, Jean Armstrong, or Gene Armstrong. I don't really know how to pronounce his name properly. In Japanese, his name is Kaoru Hondobu, and in French, because obviously this is meant to be an Italian restaurant, his name is Luigi La Bocca. Both the English and Japanese versions of his given name are androgynous, although Jean or Jean is usually considered a female name in English-speaking countries and a male one in French ones. So, you've got like Jean-Luc, that type of thing. And his Japanese name, Kaoru, means fragrance, which is quite fitting because he has a massive thing for aromatherapy. His full Japanese name is a romanisation of Fond de Veau, the French term for rich veal. With his English surname, which is Armstrong, it's probably a reference to, the fact that he's got very muscly arms. Actually, the name has its origins in Scotland, which is probably unintentional. Well, something that's unintentional probably is that the French words for arm and strong are bras and fort. So, his French name would be Fort Brass. Quite funny. Or Bras Fort. Technically, yeah, because it's Armstrong, not strong arm. Which is actually quite similar to the French phrase, j'embrasse fort, or j'embrasse fort, which is I embrace or I kiss strongly. Which is quite funny. And it's weird, is Armstrong, because the Japanese version of John Armstrong is described as an okama, which is a broad term that is used to refer to gay men, but can also refer to transgender women and men who do drag or speak like women, which obviously makes it very, very difficult to localise such a character into something that we as a Western audience could appreciate, considering, at least at the time, there was a relative lack of understanding of nuances of gender and sexuality when the game was being localised, and also, to be fair, the English language doesn't really have enough words to describe gender and sexuality. The world is creating words to try and describe it all, but none of them have become normal to use yet, really. And you can really see the difficulties that they had localising this character, because sometimes you'll get Nick believing that Armstrong may be a woman. Which I suppose we can kind of say no. But it's a majorly difficult one. Like, really, actually quite difficult. And to be fair, he creeps me out every time I see him. Because it's just like, bloody hell, what the hell is that? But either way, I'm sure he's going to prove very, very, very useful to this case. Because obviously he owns the restaurant, surely he's got to know something about what went on. Because, like, it just something just doesn't feel right. Because poor Maggie couldn't have done it, and if he owns the restaurant and he's the chef, then he probably would have noticed what was going on. I mean, to be fair, he's definitely one of the witnesses in the original case. But, yes, what is this about a motive? Because, considering Maggie had no idea who this fella was, how could she have a motive? Explain, Armstrong. And, oh! Someone's hiding something! What? Oh my god, someone's nicked our Magatama. That's not good. That is really not good. We kind of need that. It's very important to solving things. Like, we seriously need to smash through this guy's defences, and we need the Magatama to do that, so, that's really annoying. And also, the thing that I find quite hilarious about Armstrong is that, obviously, because his French is awful, but it is actually awful because you wouldn't say la old man. It would be, well, it would most likely be le old man, because French has got, well, French is naturally a gendered language, so words and so on have genders, so they are either a masculine or feminine word, and that depends on whether you use le or la. So, for example, you would say la piscine, not le piscine. So, swimming pool is a feminine word. Whereas, just bear with me a second, I'm trying to think of an example of a masculine. Yes, so you would say le papillon, because papillon, which is butterfly, is a masculine word. I don't quite know how they decided which words were what, but yeah, you would not say la old man, you'd say le old man. At least I think you would. It's been a long time since I've done anything to do with actual French. So my French linguistic skills are not as good as they probably once were. Like, last time I did any actual French was my GCSEs, which is a very long time ago now. We're talking at least 6-7 years now. Oh my God, that makes me feel so old. It's insane when you look back at the things you've done, you just go, how long ago was that? Oh, bloody hell. Actually, looking at this old man, it makes me feel quite young, actually, again, now, because it's just like, well, at least, you know, he's older, so I can feel young. And, I like how he's getting all up and antsy about the waitresses' uniforms. It probably goes there quite a lot if he's that annoyed by it. Also, I feel really bad about his red nose because, like, that is quite bulbous. It looks like it might be infected, which is very, very worrying. But yeah, probably a cyclock on that, but we can't see anything right now. So obviously we know that it's nowhere out here, so at least we haven't dropped it anywhere. Got a very strong feeling it's somewhere in the restaurant, but I'm sure we'll deal with that when we deal with that. And she wasn't, but it might help us out. So yeah, Maya, could you just go sort that out for us? Yeah, just become a waitress for a little bit. We'll continue investigating. Poor girl, but this is going to be hilarious.